My name is Paul Medeiros, Managing Director, North America for Consulting and Technical Services of NSF GFTC. I wish to extend a warm hello to everyone here, a happy Diwali as well, in Portuguese, which is my native tongue, bom dia as well. And of course, those of you who don't know, Portuguese is the official language of Europe. I'm sure our European friends probably know that. And I believe it's also the home of soccer. Just a little bit of soccer trivia for everybody. Anyway, so just absolutely a warm hello to the Ontario European Agri-Food Forum. I love these sorts of things. Very excited to be here. An event like this that brings together industry, professionals, experts from Europe and Ontario in order to help us better understand the opportunities in our respective markets and to provision ourselves with information to capitalize on those opportunities. NSF GFTC, together with the City of Guelph, University of Guelph, and the County of Wellington, have spent the past year developing this program, and I'm certain you'll find it of great value. Now, you may think I look nervous up here, and there's a reason for that. In August of this year, I went into the trunk of my car, and crumpled in the corner was a white piece of paper. I took it out and uncrumpled it. It was a University of Guelph parking ticket from about 3 or 4 weeks prior on a Thursday. And I thought, I wasn't anywhere near the university on the Thursday. My son had borrowed the car, and he worked at Rainbow Day Camp at the University of Guelph grounds, and I borrowed it that day. So that kid. So I approached him. His name is Will. Will, is this your ticket? Oh, yeah, Dad. But don't worry about it. I don't have to pay it. Well, why don't you have to pay it? Well, because I'm not a student at the university, so it's only if you're a student or work that you have to pay your parking tickets. Okay, well, you have to pay the parking ticket. Do I have to pay all of them? He had 3. So he told me that he paid all 3 of the parking tickets. However, I'm not sure. I didn't get a receipt. So if you see campus police coming in and taking me away, I promise it's because of those parking tickets, nothing else. So today, again, we are thrilled to have representatives from a variety of different places, North America and Europe. We have the Canadian Embassy in the Netherlands. We have the Office of Economic Affairs, Agriculture and Innovation in the Netherlands Embassy of Washington. We have the Tolsma Grinswich Group from the Netherlands as well. Got a few more here as well, so bear with me. So many people to thank and to welcome. From France, Vidagora, who represents Europe's leading food industry network for consumer well-being through food. So Vidagora has brought along with them other companies as well. I had the pleasure of meeting many of them this morning from Étavient de Fruits, Institut de l'Élevage, Jani MT, and Salactus. I'd also like to note a few other things. Everyone has received a delicate bag, and there are some empty seats, so you know what, end of the day, take 2 bags if you like, by all means. So definitely the delicate bags containing gifts from our sponsors. You'll have also received a workbook for notes, which includes all the bios and a list of the attendees. Also, I'd like to note a few housekeeping items. If you could please turn your cell phone ringers to vibrate, that would be incredible and appreciated. The washrooms, if you don't know already, are in the hallway. And the PowerPoint presentation from today will be available on the Ontario European Agri-Food Forum website, along with a video of the full day. Your feedback on our events is also crucial for future programming, so please do take a moment throughout the day to fill those in, and please provide them at the end of the day. Also, your name tags, if you wouldn't mind returning them to the registration desk so that we can recycle them. I would also like to, on behalf of our delegates and speakers, extend our appreciation to our partners, several partners, including our hosting partners. The University of Guelph has 22,000 undergraduates and 2,500 graduate students. I'm actually a graduate from my Master's of Science here as well. Terrific school, great program. So enrolled, who are instructed by 760 faculty members. The university's annual research funding is approximately $140 million, a highlight being the University of Guelph, Ontario Ministry of Agricultural, Food and Rural Affairs partnership which returns in excess of $1 billion annually to the provincial economy. Guelph has been named Canada's most inventive university, with the lowest cost per invention and the highest number of inventions per faculty in 2013. Guelph is known as Canada's Food University. Absolutely, because of the extensive agri-food research carried out across its 7 colleges. I would like to also thank the City of Guelph. Known for its world-class expertise in all things agricultural, Guelph is leading the way in enhancing the global food chain through advanced agricultural and food sciences, bio-based material, animal health, chronic disease prevention, and functional food and nutraceutical research. Home to over 150 agri-food and agri-technology companies, research institutes, and associations, Guelph is a one-stop, all-inclusive location for your business, and a city I am very proud to call my home. Wellington County. Wellington County stretches 2,600 square kilometers in the center of southwestern Ontario. Agriculture is ingrained in Wellington's history and today represents over 6,000 jobs and 2,400 businesses in the county. What's most notable is the cluster advantages available in Wellington, from cattle farms, oilseed operations, equipment manufacturers, research to specialty consulting. Wellington's activity and labor force attracts global investment. Ontario Agri-Food Technologies. Ontario Agri-Food Technologies proactively supports the continued development and adoption of new agri-food technologies in a manner which will stimulate improvements in farm and processing and industrial sustainability, profitability, and improve Ontario's strong position in the agri-food sector, both nationally and internationally. I have some strategic partners as well I would like to highlight. We have BMO, who is here, the Guelph Chamber of Commerce, MNP, my colleagues from NSF, GFTC, Ministry of Agricultural, Food and Rural Affairs, and Bitagora. Also supporting partners, I'd like to highlight Miller Thompson. We have Northern Villages websites, we have RBC, and we have Wellington Waterloo Community Futures. Their support has enabled and allowed us to bring together, us all together to advance investment and trade in our industry. At this point, I would like to introduce Dr. Franco Vaccarino, President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Guelph. An internationally recognized researcher and scholar, Dr. Franco Vaccarino became the University of Guelph's 8th President and Vice-Chancellor in 2014. He served as Executive Vice President of Programs and Vice President of Research at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health, and as Vice President and Director of Research, Clark Institute of Psychiatry. He has received major awards and was recently named as a Fellow of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences. At Guelph, he is also a tenured professor in the Department of Psychology. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Franco Vaccarino.
Well, thank you very much for that kind introduction, Paul, and those wonderful and important opening remarks. I am, and we are absolutely delighted to be a part of today's Ontario European Forum together with the City of Guelph and the Guelph-Wellington County. This is this forum promises, I think, to stimulate important dialogue across our various regions and partners. And I want to talk a little bit about that. The buzz, as I like to call it, of this region and our university, in many ways is inextricably linked to our agri-food heritage, together with the new and emerging technologies and opportunities that we're going to hear about more today. And a concept that I like to talk about a lot is the power of place, the power of places. And if you think about in your own lives how your own thoughts, ideas, feelings, and memories of important events that have happened in your life, they are inextricably also linked to a particular place, regions. And I would say that the power of this region and our place here at the university within it is so very deeply anchored in our agri-food identity and impact. And so when we think about this region, we think about this university, the memories and the strength of the depth of our understanding of this region is so intimately tied with that agri-food space and the related impact. The University of Guelph enjoys a number of strong rankings globally that I won't repeat. My speaking notes here have a whole list of them. I'm not going to repeat them. But just to say that at the center of those rankings and reputation is the agri-food space. But today really is less about the University of Guelph and much more about our connectivity, excuse me, our connectivity within Ontario and across the ocean with our European partners. Our successes moving forward will be increasingly measured by our ability to mobilize our respective strengths and by our impact and connectivity that comes from working together. And the University of Guelph has built on traditions to become a national and global leader in food, nutrition, and agriculture. And this is also captured, and Paul alluded to this and mentioned it, in our very unique and special partnership with the Government of Ontario through OMAFRA, through our Ministry of Agricultural and Rural Affairs. And that partnership is hugely important for the university and the region, as Paul highlighted. I would also say that research here builds on the strengths that we have and brings together a wide range of disciplines and knowledge. And I think moving forward, if we think about the agri-food and related technologies and themes that emerge, you're going to see increasingly the importance of that interdisciplinarity. And so having that anchor in agri-technology here at the University of Guelph, together with the new and emerging parts of the university in a much more comprehensive context, promise to offer opportunities for connecting the dots in unique and special ways that I think we're really very well positioned for. And so much of this has to do with turning knowledge into action and making discoveries that matter. And those are expressions that we use a lot here. There is something special about taking knowledge that is learned in the classroom and actually experiencing the impact and power of that knowledge in a real-world context. And it's something that we take very seriously at the University of Guelph. 140 years after the Ontario Agricultural College founded this place, the university, the University of Guelph continues to seek solutions to real-world problems in the agri-food sector, both locally and globally. And that's why this forum today is so important. So let me just end by inviting you all to take advantage of today to talk to us about your ideas for turning knowledge into action for the mutual benefit of all of our respective partners, both within Ontario, Canada, but importantly today across the ocean and with our European partners. And Paul alluded to this with his Portuguese background. I have, you can tell by my last name, it ends in a vowel. I'm Italian of origin. I was born in Italy, as far south as you could get. I was born in Sicily, but grew up in Canada. And so for me, this particular European forum was a personal as well as a professional pleasure. So thank you all very much for being here, and look forward to hearing about a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Vaccarino. I would like now to introduce Cam Guthrie, the Mayor of Guelph. Cam Guthrie was elected Mayor of Guelph in 2014 after serving as a councillor for Ward 4 from 2010 to 2014. A licensed insurance broker and a local entrepreneur, and I understand that he also participated in a band at some point. So he's got some musical skills too. Cam is a supporter of the arts and a loyal Guelph Griffins and Guelph Storm fan. Cam's roots in Guelph stretch back to 1919, when his great-grandfather founded Guthrie's Bakery on Quebec Street in downtown Guelph. Cam and his wife, Rachel, are proud parents of 2 children. Please join me in welcoming Cam Guthrie.
Whoa, as an insurance broker, that's a liability issue there. Hope your CGL is up to date there, Mr. President. That's commercial general liability, if a little insurance lingo there for you. So welcome everybody here to our city, to our university. Very, very pleased to be here to bring greetings on behalf of the city today. And in particular, I do want to welcome, as you said, to our European guests as well. We are thrilled to have you here in Guelph. Some of you I've met now for the second time, so thank you for coming back. We do hope that you enjoy your stay with us and hope that we obviously develop really good and strong relationships that will be mutually beneficial to us both. Welcome also to those, of course, coming from within Guelph as well, and Wellington and other cities across Ontario. Your participation in this forum is very important for us. So we're proud to be hosting this here in Guelph. And just to give you a little bit of history, Guelph's history dates back in 1827 when it was founded by a name named John Galt. Galt was the superintendent of a land development company called the Canada Company. And his motivation for attracting settlers to this area was that Canada Company had farmland to sell here. He built up Guelph, including a market, schoolhouse, and a tavern, as a way to provide services and amenities that would ultimately drive up demand and price for the surrounding agricultural lands. And agriculture has always played a very vital role here in Guelph's development. One of the first buildings was the market, and the farmers would come to sell hay, grain, produce, food, cattle, and livestock right in our downtown. And the downtown became a major hub for our agricultural commerce. And later, Guelph was chosen as the location of the provincial winter fair. And today, our city hall is actually located on that exact site, and the original wall of that provincial fair is actually incorporated right into our new building, our new city hall right downtown. And because of the heritage and importance of that whole area is actually now called Market Square in our downtown core. So, as it's already been mentioned, Guelph is known across Canada and globally as a center of agri-food and agri-innovation. And a key reason for that is, of course, the institution that is so graciously hosting us today, the University of Guelph. And the university's strengths in agricultural innovation and in agricultural college here as well, and the veterinarian college, are well known and very well respected around the world. And its skilled graduates provide a steady source of talent that our growing cluster of agri-food and agribusinesses can draw from. That cluster of businesses is another reason for Guelph's global reputation as an agri-innovation center. Several of them are here today, and I want to thank you very much for coming and your commitment to us here. You're putting Guelph on the map, and we really very much appreciate that. Guelph is also the center for a number of agriculture-related organizations and government ministries and agencies. These include Agricultural and Agri-Food Canada, OMAFRA, as has already been mentioned as well. These agencies play a very vital role here in our community. So certainly we've come a long way from when the agricultural commerce meant a farmer bringing his grain to sell at Market Square. Today, agri-food is a complex, competitive, and innovation-focused business. But some things have remained the same, and as mayor, I have often thought of how blessed Guelph is to have that strong agricultural sector. Product trends and consumer preferences will come and go, but agricultural and food will always be essential to human existence. And that's why agri-food is not only central to the story of Guelph's past, it is essential to the key of Guelph's future. And as mayor and as council, we have adopted an economic development plan and a strategy that makes it a priority to build on the strengths as a center for agri-food and agri-innovation. Guelph is extremely proud to be known as the agricultural town. So once again, thank you very much for attending. And I would like to also just recognize the staff members from the city of Guelph that are here today. If you could please stand for a moment and give them a round of applause for helping do this event. And selfishly, the reason why I asked them to stand is because if you're looking to open a business, those are the people now that you need to speak to here, because we want you here in Guelph, and I will dig that hole for you in a second. So thank you very much for being here, and have a great rest of the day. I'm sorry I cannot join you for the rest of the conference today or tonight. I've been called away to Queen's Park to another ministry, Ministry of Transportation, to deal with an issue there that's exciting for Guelph as well, so I'll be in Queen's Park for the rest of the day. So thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, Cam. Got 3. I would now like to introduce George Bridge, Warden of Wellington County. George Bridge is currently serving his 2nd term as mayor for the town of Minto, having been first elected as mayor in 2010. As mayor, George also sits as a member of Wellington County Council, and in December was elected as warden, as voted by his fellow council members. County Council oversees several committees of which George is a member, including the Administration, Finance and Personnel, and the Economic Development Committees. George is also presently the chair of the Wellington County Municipal Economic Development Committee. Please join me in welcoming George Bridge.
I'll catch you. Cam always is able to have that pratfall. He does a good job on that. Did he leave already? Well, I can't pick on him then, eh? Oh, that's too bad. No, he's off to Queen's Park, and I'm going to stay with you today because he's going to be my representative as well, because we were invited to that meeting as well. But good morning, everyone, and a special warm welcome to those new to Guelph, Wellington. As you say, our European colleagues, some of them I'm going to get a chance to meet again, and we had a good visit the last time. So I'm pleased to be here and proud that the County of Wellington, City of Guelph, and the University of Guelph have partnered to put on such a relevant program. Agriculture is significant in Wellington County, both in the terms of our long history of farming, as Cam mentioned, and also with respect to how much innovation is happening today. I can't get over, every time I have an opportunity through economic development, and we do this a lot, we do visits. And I hear, like up in Minto, we're just opening up a new little operation there where they're doing drones for agriculture. And it started in the guy's basement, and now it's amazing the software they can do and what the innovation that's happening. Within Wellington County, there's 2,400 ag businesses, as was mentioned before. That's amazing. That was really a big sector of our county. Some of them are here today, so I'll have a chance to meet some of them individually as well as we go forward. For those who knew Wellington County, you'll know that we have a beautiful countryside. I have the opportunity every time I come down to Guelph to drive through it, because I'm in the top end. If you look in your little map, I'm in Minto, so I get to drive through. I start off with the Mennonite country. I get into big farms. I see it all. I see the drive by the new dairy operations that we have. We actually in Minto just we had $6 million worth of building this year alone in agriculture, and that was 3 large dairy barns, $1 million apiece with robots. It's amazing what's going on out there. And also, one of the things that you may not know about Wellington County is we have 75% of Class 1, 2, and 3 farm soil, which makes us the highest quality in the province. So we're really proud of that. We call this, and that's one thing Wellington County tends to be called the king of diversified farms, and that's just what I was talking about. There's so many different farms. We have so many sectors out there. We call this because our farms have a healthy array of crops, animals, and processing. We have many young farmers too. I was pleased to see that some of our numbers are coming down. I was at a Federation of Agriculture the other day, and there was a speaker and talked about we have 25,000 new farmers in Canada under 35 years old. That's just amazing and really important to have that, because we need to have that next generation coming forward. And I see it in my area too. I see some of the young people taking over the family farm. I call it a family farm still, even though they're corporations now, because they're still run by families, but 2 or 3 families working on one large acreage, so it really works well. A growing number of small producers and growers and retailers in many other areas, including specialty grain, cheese, beer, whiskey distillery. We just got a whiskey distillery. That's amazing. And I haven't had a chance to taste that yet, but I will get an opportunity shortly. I'm sure we'll do a tour, will we not, Yana? Good. All because we have the right inputs in Wellington, everything from soil to smart labor force. I think back of my own family, and we came over from England in the bottom part of the boat. We weren't on the top. I think we were a couple apples away from going to Australia. I'm not too sure. If you know the history of England, they sent a few people to the colonies when they didn't want them. Anyways, we ended up coming in 160 years ago to Minto, our family, and it was interesting that it was called the Queen's Bush then because there was no real land here. It was all bush. And they cut down the trees. It took them almost a year to cut down a road just to get to where their land was. And they got to their land, and we have around 4 generations of farming in Minto. So I'm proud of that and proud of where we've come. Guelph Wellington is agriculture, and Guelph Wellington is food. Not many places in the world have the ability to research a product, grow a product, process a product, and package a product within one community. We can do that world class, and that's thanks to the University of Guelph and the innovation. We have a lot of Aggies in our area. They're very proud of their heritage in the University of Guelph, and that's very important. This past Monday, awards were distributed at the Premier's Agriculture Innovation Ceremony. These awards recognize the celebrated agri-food processors, producers, and organizations who, with their innovative ideas and projects, are helping strengthen Ontario commodities, support a sustainable environment, create jobs, and boost our economy. Outstanding across Ontario, Guelph, Wellington businesses received 7 of the 12 awards. This certainly makes us well positioned to speak today on this subject matter. In Wellington, we realize the world is shrinking. And because of this and the opportunities between regions and businesses are growing, thank you for contributing to today's discussions and tomorrow's matchmaking. I really think that matchmaking tomorrow is going to be really amazing. On behalf of the county, welcome to our community. And maybe I'll have, as Cam started this project, have some of the economic development people and people from Wellington County that helped out with us to stand up. I know this was a big project, and okay, thank you. And I'm really looking forward to the day and learning a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you, George. I would now like to introduce George Vodovilos, who will provide the opening remarks. George is the Director, Business Development Branch, Economic Development Division with the Ministry of Agricultural, Food and Rural Affairs. He's held a number of positions working at all levels of government, municipal, provincial, and federal, in the areas related to planning, economic development, downtown revitalization, and tourism. George has a Bachelor of Environmental Studies degree in Geography from the University of Waterloo, Master of Arts degree in Urban Planning from UCLA. He is a certified economic developer with the fellowship designation. Please join me in welcoming George.
Good morning and welcome. I'm here on behalf of Randy Jack, who unfortunately got called into Queen's Park, or our minister's office. And thank God to mobile devices. I just got 3 emails this morning and said, by the way, can you come to Toronto as well this afternoon? So I'll be there as well, going down to Queen's Park and the famous 401 stretch. But with that in mind, this is just a great opportunity. And recognizing that Mr. Porter is going to be speaking shortly, I think I'm going to cut my remarks down and get down to really the salient points, because I really want to hear from our economists today on what's happening in the markets. So this forum is a great opportunity to talk about 2 things: relationships. And that's the most important when you think about trade and or investment with another country. It's about establishing business relationships, understanding culture, nuances, the way of doing businesses, what are the rules and regulations, point of entry, distribution channels, all the things you have to consider when you export. And secondly, they'll obviously learn about the opportunities in the EU. I will do one disclaimer. Since we've talked about ethnicity, I'm of Greek background, and we know they're the interesting children or child in the EU arrangement. So with that in mind, I'll just qualify that. So as an exporting partner, Ontario offers a number of competitive advantages. I was attending a manufacturing conference on foreign direct investment this week, and they talked about these competitive advantages. Labor force, we have to have a very reliable, talented pool. Thank God to the educational institutions in this province, from the University of Guelph throughout, as well as the community college network that we have. That's the talent. We need the labor force, but particularly as the population continues to age. And we need to have that new entrance coming in. Our infrastructure and supply chain is really critical. It's critical in terms of access, not just to the North American marketplace, but obviously international areas. And lastly, our corporate income tax. We're quite competitive on that front from G20 and G8 countries, including the United States. Ontario's perspective is partnerships and relationship building. And with that, we continue to look at our export success. So from the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, in 2014, Ontario Agri-Food exports were $12.5 billion. Pretty good figure when you take in consideration bulk, intermediate, consumer-oriented products which form that figure. It's in terms of the EU, or the European Union, it's 840 million, is a representative figure of that 12.5, about 5%. It's an opportunity to grow. And it's been growing over the last 5 years, but how do we make it continue to grow? And so with that in mind, our priorities is obviously international markets. EU is one of those markets. The Ontario Premier has issued a Agri-Food Growth Challenge with an aspirational target of reaching $20 billion by 2020. So we were at 12.5, so we got 7.5 to go. That's just not government. Government can only enable and assist. The private sector, the Ontario food manufacturers, the associations that are present here today, federal representatives, consultants, provincial government resources are all part of that picture. And the food manufacturers who have to try to figure out how to get their product to the marketplace, not just domestically when they move into the international markets. We're fortunate in the business development branch, which I have responsibility as an export team called Ontario Food Exports. That's our branding. They work on a regular basis with the 3,300 manufacturing establishments that are across the province. That's a lot of companies to penetrate. 50% are in the Greater Toronto area, and the remaining in different parts of rural Ontario, both southern and eastern. They work together in terms of financial assistance program, export counseling, really understanding your business needs. And with that in mind, there she is, Jennifer Hannum. She's our EU marketing officer in the back. And Jennifer is there with her manager, Alan Crawley, and there's some people from our business and investment development unit as well, hiding in that corner over there, Mark, Karen, and Andre. This team is working together with those clients. And so we're here today to learn and really explore this opportunity of this venue. And I think the B2B is really critical, is really understanding what it's like to do business. So with that in mind, go back to our moderator.